I always seem to be worrying about my creditors, fully absorbed in obtaining money. Once I get it, I find myself anxiously watching how fast it leaves me. It really seems as though I'm working for other people. The more I get, the more I want. The more I make, the more I spend. Where is there peace in this world? Where is the happiness I was promised? Hearing me screaming, my spiritual master said, "My dear son, scream on, but take the name of the Lord and die." Just as I think I am pulling ahead of my mortgage payments, something happens and I get farther behind. Watching the bills pile up, I realize I am nothing more than a slave to this building. Sometimes I do not see how I can continue to have a house to live in. I work like a dog outside its walls and like a menial servant inside. What an ungrateful master! Hearing me scream so pathetically, my spiritual master said, "My dear son, scream on, but take the name of the Lord and die." What kind of life is this? I waste so much time grooming my body, getting my hair just right. I buy clothes that are very attractive but very uncomfortable. Every pair of new shoes I put on is like a unique form of torture, as my feet feel they are in a vice, and this is fashion. I jump into my new car, which I can only drive on very special occasions, simply because I can't afford the gas. I make all this effort to attend a social gathering at which I find myself completely miserable. Why have I made such a fool of myself? Just to attract the attention of other fools and rascals? Hearing me scream in frustration, my spiritual master said, "Yes, scream on, but take the name of the Lord and die." Sometimes I spend from morning to night trying to do something to improve my health. I do all types of exercises, and I have tried all forms of medical treatments for an interesting array of diseases. Not one cure has ever lived up to its promise, except the promise to leave me poorer and more frustrated than when I started. As for my so-called specialists, with their perfect knowledge, I find them simply in need of money, so they grow richer at my expense. Hearing me scream out angrily, my spiritual master said, "You take the name of the Lord and die." Sometimes I feel I am being hunted by my past. I have had so many bad habits. I have engaged in all types of sinful activities. I have offended so many saintly souls. I have given the worst treatment to those who loved and cared for me the most. I have broken all religious principles and even tried to deny the existence of God. I see the faces of all those I have offended, hurt and denied, shouting at me. All my bad habits come before me again and again, haunting me as if I never left them. How long must I be hunted like this? Hearing me scream in agony, my spiritual master said, "My dear son, scream on, but take the name of the Lord and die." Sometimes I think of the future, and I become very alarmed. I have suffered so much in the past, and I am afraid that more of the same is waiting for me. Since I cannot bear my present miseries. How will I be able to brave what is waiting for me in the future? Past, present, future. For me, they're all the same, full of hellish despair. There is nothing to be excited about in this world, as ultimately everything ends in frustration. Life is a role in a bad play. Then the curtains close in one's face and the show is over, soon to be forgotten. Hearing me scream so pitifully, my spiritual master said, "Dream on, but take the name of the Lord and die." My dear son, he continued, you are realizing the absurdities of this material world. This material world is designed solely for your rectification. When one is no longer satisfied in this prison, such a person becomes eligible for liberation. As long as one is comfortable in these universes of great limitations and duality, there is no hope of escaping. Your realizations and frustrations are all a part of the price one pays to be released. Please, do not turn back. Please, keep up the intensity, as your freedom will be upon you very soon. The holy names of God are not of this world. By chanting these divine sounds vigorously, one can unlock the doors of the material prison and return back home, back to Godhead. Scream on, my dear child, but take to the chanting of the names of God. This will bring death to the old attachments, illusions, sufferings, and fears, and will bring in the real life of eternal happiness and bliss. With serious chanting, my child, you can ride the wind. Put the things of this world behind you, and now live in truth and love. Take the name of the Lord in full absorption, and eternal life is yours. Don't waste a second. Yes, you must take the name of the Lord and die.
Vishnu Hare Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Tirtha Swami Name. Namaste Krishna Padaya Prabhupada Janmane Shri Gaura Karana Sakti Bhakti Tirtha Namo Vishnu Hare Krishna Prasaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Name. Namaste Saraswati Gaura Vani Picharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasacharya Sachari. Amagyanā timirandasya gyananjana salakaya chakshulun manisanjana tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Sapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadama Virati Swapadam Tikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Tapadakandalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsa Shri Rupam Sangrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Sajivam Sadvitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Param Sahagana Lalita Sri Sakham Vitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpati Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapakam Chara Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisavana Suti Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Panchakal Pataru Vyascha Pasundhyaye Vacha Patitanam Pavilivyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, today we are very fortunate. We are having this wonderful prayer from His Holiness the Bhakti BDDSwami.
Entonces hoy somos muy afortunados ya que tenemos esta exquisita poesía, meditación de su santidad Bhakti Tirtha Swami.
We should take the name of the Lord and die.
Debemos tomar el nombre del Señor y morir.
That means in all circumstances, either we are in good or in bad condition, we are happy or not happy, in whatever condition we find ourselves, we should simply take on the chant to the holy name.
En toda circunstancia, positiva o negativa, estemos felices o estemos tristes, siempre debemos tomar el nombre del Señor, el canto de los santos nombres.
It is a great fortune to remember the Lord while we are at difficult situation.
Es muy afortunado poder recordar al Señor mientras atravesamos una situación dificultosa.
Generally, we forget when we have difficulties, but it's a great fortune to remember Krishna in a difficult situation.
Generalmente olvidamos al Señor cuando estamos en una situación dificultosa, pero es muy buena fortuna poder recordarlo.
In the material world, we are always in a very difficult situation, always.
En el mundo material siempre estamos en una situación dificultosa, siempre.
We have worries about creditors, we are worried about how to get money, we are worried and very anxious, watching everything that surrounds us.
Entonces siempre estamos preocupados y con ansiedad acerca de nuestra economía y acerca de todas las cosas que nos rodean.
And if we watch ourselves very carefully and analyze things very carefully, we will see we are simply living for others.
Si analizamos esto, vamos a ver que simplemente vivimos para los demás.
We are living for others because all our endeavors, none of our endeavors is for us. All our endeavors we make in this man say, well, if for this body and all this, the expansions of this body.
Y todo lo que hacemos es, hacemos un esfuerzo para este cuerpo o todo aquello que esté relacionado con este cuerpo.
So the promises we are given that we be very happy, we never seem to have it. Because it's only a struggle we get in this world.
Entonces todo lo que obtenemos en este mundo son problemas, son desafíos. Entonces
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, we are facing some network issues. We shall be resuming shortly.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Gurudev.
Okay, so sorry for the disconnection. Yes, that's the thing. Where is the happiness that we are promised? The world promises happiness, but when we look at our situation, we see that we are simply struggling. We don't seem to see that happiness.
¿Dónde está la felicidad que nos prometen en este mundo? Cuando lo analizamos profundamente, solo hay desafíos y solo estamos tratando, pero nunca alcanzamos nada.
So we are fortunate if we can take shelter of the holy name.
Somos afortunados si podemos tomar refugio del santo nombre en toda situación.
Every day, the more we try to solve the problems, the more problems continue to pile up.
En el día a día, cada vez que tratamos de solucionar los problemas solo incrementan.
So we are simply enslaved, but what we consider to be enjoyment.
Simplemente somos esclavos, pero nosotros lo entendemos como si fuera disfrute.
So the situation comes to the point where we're wondering, where are we going?
Entonces la situación llega a un momento en donde nos preguntamos hacia dónde estamos yendo.
Especially in some places where everything is mortgaged. Everything mortgaged. Everything is on borrow. Everything is on borrow. Everything.
Especialmente en lugares donde todo, sorry, Gurudev, everything is
on borrowed.
Donde todo es
everything is borrowed. We are slaves to everything that we struggle for. We are slaves to our senses. We are slaves to even our properties.
Somos esclavos de nuestros sentidos, somos esclavos de nuestras propiedades. Son cosas que se nos han dado, no son nuestras.
So we are simply wasting our time serving our ungrateful master, the material senses.
Entonces simplemente estamos perdiendo el tiempo sirviendo a un maestro desagradecido, nuestros sentidos.
What do we gain from gratifying the senses? What do we gain from gratifying the senses? What
¿Qué
do
ganamos
we-
por gratificar los sentidos? ¿Qué es lo que ganamos por gratificar los sentidos?
Any form of sense gratification that we normally engage in, what do we gain from it?
En cualquier tipo de gratificación de los sentidos, ¿qué es lo que ganamos de ello?
Dissatisfaction,
Insatisfacción.
an illusion that we enjoy, but it
Like-
ends with satisfaction.
Una ilusión de pensar que estamos disfrutando de la satisfacción de los sentidos.
If one is very fortunate with all these challenges, it will help us to remember the name of Lord Krishna.
Si uno es afortunado en todos estos desafíos, uno va a poder recordar los nombres del Señor.
As we notice every day, I will spend a long time taking care of this material body.
Así como podemos ver todos los días, lleva mucho tiempo cuidar este cuerpo material.
Manicure, pedicure.
Manicura, pedicuras.
What do we gain from that? I've seen some ladies, even to use their phone, they don't have fingers, they have to use their phone this way, like a playing organ, because the fingers are the nails artificially long, so you cannot use finger. You have to use hand this way. This is how they type. I've seen some ladies, and they will do like this. Pedicure, manicure.
Entonces, Gurudeva estaba explicando que ha visto algunos días atrás a gente que se hace la manicura, se hace el trabajo con las manos y tienen las uñas artificiales tan largas que cuando utilizan el teléfono no pueden tocarlo con los dedos, con la punta de los dedos, tienen que utilizar la mitad del dedo.
It's expensive.
Y es muy caro.
Waste of money, waste of time, and those centered around the body.
Es una pérdida de tiempo, es una pérdida de dinero que solo da vueltas alrededor del concepto del cuerpo.
Buy clothes which does not even fit us.
Sorry, Gurudev?
Buy clothes which doesn't even fit us properly. Clothes.
Hay calzado que no nos calza apropiadamente.
Everything we do, we are doing it for other people. There's nothing which we do that is for ourselves. Everything we do is for other people.
Todo lo que hacemos es para los demás, es para otras personas. No hay nada que hagamos para nosotros, es solo para los demás.
So we make our hair, is for who?
Cuando trabajamos con nuestro cabello, ¿es para quién?
You yourself, you don't see the style of hair you have made. It's other people who see the style of hair you made. You don't see it. Other people that sees.
Cuando hacemos un estilo de cabello, hacemos algo con nuestro cabello, nosotros no vemos lo que hay allí, ¿no? Entonces lo que hacemos es para que otros lo vean.
The shoes we wear, the clothes we put on, it is not for ourselves, it is for others.
El calzado que utilizamos, la ropa que vestimos, no es para nosotros, es para los demás.
So that people will look at us.
Así las personas nos pueden mirar.
So is this life?
¿Esta es la vida?
It is slavery.
Es esclavización.
We struggle to satisfy or to present ourselves we present ourselves to people. We want people to take us on what we are not.
Entonces estamos luchando por demostrar a los demás algo que no somos.
How is this life?
¿Cómo es esta vida?
A sensible person would think, what am I doing with all this artificial life?
Una persona sensible piensa, ¿qué es lo que estoy haciendo con toda esta vida artificial?
Some people, they have a special shoes for special occasions. special cup for special occasion. So Gurudev is saying, it is just because we will not have money to maintain, therefore we keep on certain things for occasions.
Entonces hay gente que tiene calzado para fiestas especiales o tienen un coche para ocasiones especiales. Entonces Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj está explicando de que como no pueden mantener estas cosas en una base diaria, solamente lo utilizan en ocasiones especiales.
When are we going to be ourselves?
¿Cuándo vamos a ser nosotros mismos?
So it is a fortunate person who thinks like this.
Solo una persona afortunada piensa así.
Then the mercy of the Lord for us to help think about Krishna comes in.
Entonces la misericordia del Señor de pensar en Krishna entra en juego.
So Lord Krishna is saying, please keep on, take the name.
Entonces Krishna dice, continúa, toma el nombre y continúa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Shla Gurudev has gotten disconnected, so I've just opened the part of the meditation where we were discussing.
Thank you.
We can have your Kirtan, Prabhuji.
I'm back before your Kirtan. I'm switching over from one. This will keep up. Yes, sorry for that. Yes, this is a situation we find ourselves in this material world, always struggling to exist. There is no life. But one is fortunate if we can take all the difficulties along with our japa. We can just keep on chanting with all the difficult situations we are facing. We are considered fortunate if we can keep on chanting.
Entonces, esta es la situación en el mundo material, simplemente estamos luchando por sobrevivir o por la sobrevivencia y seremos afortunados si en cada situación dificultosa podemos tomar el nombre del Señor y tomar refugio en esos nombres.
Sometimes I feel I'm being haunted by my past. I have so many bad habits. But those bad habits, they are haunting us. Whatever we have done in the past, they live after us and they haunt us every day.
Jagannath Prabhuji, it's on the screen.
Ok. A veces siento que mi pasado me persigue, he tenido tantos malos hábitos, me he involucrado en todo tipo de actividades pecaminosas, he ofendido a tantas almas santas que he dado el peor de los tratos a quienes más me amaban y cuidaban. He roto todos los principios religiosos e incluso he tratado de negar la existencia de Dios.
Yes. I have engaged in all types of sinful activities. I have offended so many saintly souls. I have given the worst treatment to those who love and care for me the most. I have broken all religious principles and even tried to deny the existence of God. Yes.
Yes, Gurudev, I just translated that.
All of my bad habits come before me again and again, taunting me as I never left them. How long must I be haunted like this? Hearing me scream in agony, my spiritual master said, my dear son, scream on, or take the name of the Lord and die. If you can keep chanting, it is considered a fortune. Actually, the difficult situations we pass through are actually mercy of God, because with these difficulties help us to come to thinking like this.
Entonces somos afortunados si podemos continuar cantando los santos nombres del Señor. En realidad todas las situaciones dificultosas por las que hemos atravesado fueron planeadas por Krishna, porque debido a esas situaciones uno puede comenzar a pensar en la manera en que Maharaj está pensando y meditando.
Sometimes I think of the future and I'm
Pragati.
Very alarmed. I have suffered so much in the past, and I am afraid that more of the same is waiting for me. Since I cannot bear my present miseries, how will I be able to brave what is waiting for me in the future? Past, present, future. For me, they are all the same, full of hellish despair. There is nothing to be excited about in this world, as ultimately everything ends in frustration. Life is a role in a bad play, then the curtains close in one's face, and the show is over, soon to be forgotten. Hearing me scream so pitifully, my spiritual master said, scream on, but take the holy name of the Lord and die. Yes. This is what everybody gets in this material. Working very hard, and at the end, there is nothing.
Sorry, Gurudev.
You work very hard, at the end, there is nothing.
Entonces, esto es lo que uno obtiene. Uno trabaja duro y al final no obtiene nada.
Very difficult to have the people we have suffered for seriously to be with us at the time we needed them the most.
Es muy difícil tener a las personas a nuestro lado en los momentos en que hemos sufrido mucho o que sufren.
I have seen so many people, especially in the super world, their parents are at the old age home.
Sorry, Gurudev, there was some disconnection. Can you?
In the Western world, I have seen so many people at the old age home.
En el mundo, de este lado del mundo, he visto a tantas personas ancianas en casas para gente mayor.
Where are the children that we suffer so much for?
Y fueron puestos allí por sus hijos, por los cuales habían trabajado tan duramente durante todo.
They are all very busy with their own life.
Cada uno está ocupado con su propia vida.
But the false ego made us think that we are really responsible and we are the doer.
Pero el ego nos hace creer que somos los responsables y los hacedores.
So all the children, all the relatives are in different places. Very difficult to find someone who will be with us. when we needed them the most, especially those that we have suffered more, we have suffered for.
Entonces es muy difícil tener la compañía, la sensación de las personas en los momentos en que sufrimos, incluso de aquellos por los cuales hemos dado nuestra vida y hemos sufrido.
We're simply playing a loose game.
Simplemente estamos jugando un juego que no podemos ganar.
But if we are very wise, we can learn how to invest in our eternal occupation by chanting the holy name.
Pero si somos sabios, podemos ocupar en nuestro tiempo en las actividades eternas en el mundo espiritual.
Because at the end of it all, what we are going to have is the holy name of Krishna we have chanted, nothing else.
Porque al final lo único que vamos a obtener y a tener es el canto de los santos nombres del Señor y nada más.
The things which we suffer seriously to get, they will be behind when we are leaving.
Las cosas por las cuales sufrimos hoy, cuando nos vayamos, quedarán atrás.
At best, they will become a source of entanglement for us.
Sí, quizás solo se vuelvan una manera de trabarnos en nuestro desarrollo.
Therefore, my dear son, he continued, you are realizing the absurdities of this material world. Yes, you're realizing the absurdity of this material world. This material world is designed solely for your rectification. When one is no longer satisfied in this prison, such a person becomes eligible for liberation. As long as one is comfortable in these universes of great limitations and duality, there is no hope of escaping. Your realizations and frustrations are all a part of the price one pays to be released. Please do not turn back. Please keep up the intensity, as your freedom will be upon you very soon. The holy names of God are not of this world. They are not of this world. By chanting these divine sound vibrations vigorously, one can unlock the doors of the material prison and return back home, back to God. Scream on, my dear child, or take to the chanting of the names of God. This will bring death to the whole attachment, illusions, sufferings, and fears, and will bring in the real life of eternal happiness and bliss. With serious chanting, my child, you can ride the world, you can ride the wind. My child, with serious chanting, my child, you can ride the wind. With serious chanting, my child, you can ride the wind. So put the things of this world behind you and now live in truth and love. Take the name of the Lord in full absorption and eternal life is yours. Don't waste a second. Yes, you must take the name of the Lord and die. Robbie is there?
Yes, Gurudev. Should I read all the last?
Yes.
Okay. Mi querido hijo, continuó, te estás dando cuenta de los absurdos de este mundo material. Este mundo material está diseñado únicamente para tu rectificación. Cuando uno ya no está satisfecho en esta prisión, esa persona se vuelve elegible para la liberación. Como uno se siente cómodo en estos universos de grandes limitaciones y dualidad, no hay esperanza de escapar. Tus realizaciones y frustraciones son parte del precio que uno paga para ser liberado. Por favor, no retrocedas. Por favor, mantén la intensidad, ya que tu libertad estará contigo muy pronto. Los santos nombres de Dios no son de este mundo. Al cantar esos sonidos divinos vigorosamente, uno puede abrir las puertas de la prisión material y regresar a casa, de regreso a Dios. Grita, mi querido niño, pero emprende el canto de los nombres de Dios. Esto dará muerte a los viejos apegos, ilusiones, sufrimientos y temores, y traerá la vida real de felicidad y dicha eterna. Cantando seriamente, hijo mío, puedes controlar el viento. Deja las cosas de este mundo atrás y ahora vive en la verdad y el amor. Toma el nombre del Señor en plena absorción y la vida eterna es tuya. No pierdas ni un segundo. Sí, debes tomar el nombre del Señor y morir.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. In case you have any questions, you may type them in the chat box or raise your hand on Zoom. We'll be ending the class in the next 20 minutes, which is 10 p.m. IST. So who all want to ask questions may raise their hands now. We have the first question from Mukulji Prabhu Shila Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Shila Gurudev. Please accept my humble obeisances unto the dust of your lotus feet. All Guru Srila Prabhupada, all Guru Srila Bhakti Swami Maharaj. Maharaj, it happens most of the time that we make promises, commitment, we take vows regarding our hearing, reading, chanting, and most of the time we fail to fulfill that. And because of that, we felt very much sorrow, bad, and disappointment. And because of that, we lost our all levels of enthusiasm and excitement that we had earlier while making commitments. Maharaj, and I beg you unto your lotus feet how to deal with this situation.
Keep chanting. Just keep chanting. When we get disappointed with people, okay, so we don't stop eating, we don't stop sleeping, we don't stop working, we continue. So the same thing we should do. Keep chanting, keep practicing, because it is all duality. The real thing should be clearly understood and should keep to that. This is the point Gurudev is saying. Take the name of the Lord and die. So whatever happens to us, should keep the name, keep to chanting the holy name. And eventually we'll be saved. We should not forget this. Whether we are in good condition or not in good condition, whatever happens, just keep chanting. Right? Nothing stops us from sleeping, nothing stops us from eating, nothing stops us from talking, nothing stops us. So nothing will stop us from chanting. Nothing. Keep chanting. If we do that, yeah, we'll be liberated, we'll be helped, we'll be shown the way, the mercy of the Lord will come in. We should not forget that. Keep chanting.
Thank you so much, Srila Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
How are you, Maharaj?
Wonderful.
Yeah, nice to hear that. Thank you very much for a nice class. Maharaj, my question is that this material world, we don't have any choice to live in here only. So we have to suffer, and also we have to work here only. So now my question is that how do we transform this every day our material life into spiritual life, because we keep forgetting that we have to go to spiritual life. But how do we change everyday lives to the spiritual life?
It is not true that we don't have alternative. It is not true. We have to live here. We have choice. Just like we have our normal house and we have a prison house. So to be in a prison is not a normal. Our choice is to go back to our normal house where we are not conditioned to certain situations that we have in the prison house. So this is prison house. The material world is a prison house. Our original home is the spiritual world, where we have freedom to do what we want to do, what we can happily do, which is beneficial, which will give us that enjoyment, that pleasure, the real thing we are doing anything for. It is done only when we are back in our original form. And that is our alternative. For devotees, we have alternative. Only non-devotees do not have alternative because they don't have second choice until they are shown the mercy. When the mercy falls on our face, then that is our fortune. That's our fortune. And we should keep on chanting. We should keep on chanting. We should keep on making the devil. We should keep on chanting. The people who have become successful in anything, people who have become successful in anything are those who continue to try, not those who give up.
Yes.
When I went to the recording studio to do my music those days, I was in the 90s. So the one of my last track, the last track of my music, which is I'm sorry. I was not sang for a long time. It was very, very beautiful. Very beautiful song. They're very, very powerful. The philosophy, very, very high inside. They're all from Bhagavad Gita. We are prone to death, yes. That is, we are prone to death. All of us were prone to death. So it took me two days to be able to get through it. So I was feeling, the other song, I just spent a few hours to go through it easily. But the last one, I spent 2 days. Then the studio engineer told me, do you know one musician, he spent 25 days in one song, 25 days. You will spend only 2 days, you are feeling that. So to do something good, it takes a lot of energy and time. And it is those who continue to push on that will succeed, not those who give up. So Christian consciousness is a eternal life, and is the highest thing, for everything that we are doing in our life. The highest thing is Christian consciousness. So it cannot be cheap, and it cannot be simple as some people think. And people who think that Christian consciousness is cheap, they have not started. They have not started. When they will start, then they will realize that it is not cheap. How can something so powerful like Christian consciousness, but it can be simple and cheap? It cannot be. So those who will succeed are those who continue to practice, to push on. So we should keep practicing our sadhana as even if one is a pure devotee. Rupa Goswami's suggestion is that we should continue to practice sadhana as if we are neophyte. Because in that way, it will help many neophyte devotees to continue and always keep us on track. So keep practicing sadhana.
Yes.
Keep the association. Keep chanting the holy name. Keep chanting. Either it is good or bad, just keep chanting. It will become good one day, and not only good, it will liberate us completely. Not only liberating us, it will become an eternal sweet occupation in the spiritual world.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Yes, Maharaj, one question, sorry. Maharaj,
Prabhuji, I just wanted to share the
sure.
3 more questions. However, we were thinking
No,
we could
please.
just take up if it's okay. All right. Sakiranda Mataji, you may unmute and ask your question. Mataji, you're not audible.
Just a mic.
Yes,
We can
Hare
hear you.
Krishna.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Thank you very much for the wonderful association. Now, you said that what we do most of the time, it is not for us, but for others. But most of the time when we are doing our duties, it is for others. And we cannot escape these duties. So in these cases, how we can maintain a balance between what we should do and what we have to do.
Very good, very good.
Thank
very
you,
good. No, good listener. Yes. The Jagannath verse who is here, I didn't hear you translate.
Srila Gurudev, he's there with us. But his, he's there with us.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
I'm sorry, I forgot. You didn't translate.
It's a little bit difficult, the long questions and the long answers. And my connection is a little bit up and down also.
Yeah.
I stopped the video.
Okay. Anyway, this is a very interesting question. Yes, we make our hair, we put our dressing, we put on the shoes, we put the cars, we get the house, we get so many things. We are doing this thing for other people, to impress other people, for other people to see us. Because this is not for ourselves. This is selfishness. This is false ego. Is this short for you to speak?
Hare Krishna, Gurudev. Entonces, la madre preguntó, la pregunta que hizo fue que Gurudev había mencionado de que normalmente las cosas que hacemos con nuestro cabello, nuestras uñas y las cosas que tenemos es simplemente para llamar la atención de los demás. Pero hay ciertas cosas que debemos hacer en nuestra vida. Entonces, Gurudeva respondió, yes, Gurudev.
So it is different from when we are actually practicing selflessness by doing things to help people. This is not just to show up to let people see who we are, what we are, our openness. But we are doing this thing that will help people to become relieved from their different challenges, or to improve their own Christian consciousness. This is a different thing. There are two things altogether.
Entonces, una cosa es ser egoísta y obtener todas estas cosas para mostrarse uno, y algo totalmente diferente es tratar de ayudar a los demás, de llegar a los demás, de aliviar el sufrimiento o la situación dificultosa por la que están atravesando. Eso no es ser egoísta, sino es todo lo contrario, es mostrarse quién uno es para el beneficio de otros.
So if I buy a cow and donate to, say, Hare Krishna movement, so to facilitate their preaching service, that is selflessness. It is helping people. But I'm buying the cow so that people will see how nice a life I'm living. This is not for me. I'm buying this cow to show off for others.
Entonces, si compramos un coche y lo damos a un templo de 𝐸𝐴𝐵 para que puedan continuar con un programa para poder continuar con la pregración, eso está bien, y es diferente a querer tener un coche y querer demostrar debido al coche que tengo, cuál es el poder económico que tengo también.
So there are two things, not the same thing. There are two things.
Entonces son dos cosas diferentes, son dos cosas.
That's the point we are trying to express. We are wearing dresses for other people. We're not wearing dress to cover ourselves. If I'm wearing dress to cover myself, I'm not going to buy useless thing which does not fit me or which I don't need. I'm going to buy something simple that I need. And I will not think of you. I'm thinking about, this dress can serve me for some time. So I'm not thinking about you. And I can buy a dress just because in my mind I'm thinking, when I wear this, in the street, everybody will look at me and they will envy me. They will also become agitated to try to go and buy the same thing. So I bought this clothes for you, not for myself.
Entonces tenemos que cubrir nuestro cuerpo. Entonces cuando vamos a comprar ropa y pensamos en que esto me puede ser de utilidad para algo que esté haciendo para el trabajo, o sí, me sienta bien, pero es diferente del pensamiento de, cuando esté usando esta ropa, voy a llamar la atención de todos y voy a ser el centro. Entonces son dos cosas diferentes.
When we go to people's house, what do we see? We want to see what brand of alcohol and how many brand of alcohol they have in a house. So I bought those things for you, for people to come and appreciate, not for me. I may not drink them. I use that to decorate my room so that when people come, my friends come, they will see what kind of a big man I am. So all those things are people. All these are false ego, big contamination, and people are slaved to all these unnecessary things. This is what we are addressing.
Entonces el punto que estamos tocando, Gurudeva está dando el ejemplo de una persona que tiene un montón de marcas de whisky o de bebidas alcohólicas y quizás el hombre ni siquiera las beba o las termine de beber constantemente, sino que las muestra para quienes vienen a visitarlo, para demostrar el estado en el que se encuentra, o para mostrar algo, una situación hacia los demás. Y las personas se vuelven esclavas de esa situación.
Better for us to live a simple life. We should just live our own life, live our own simple life, and don't worry about other people.
Lo mejor es vivir una vida simple y no preocuparse por los demás.
All right.
Hey, Krishna, Srila Gurudev. Mataji, Srila Gurudev, actually we are having 3 more questions. So I wanted to know, should we take them up in tomorrow's �ज्ञानचक्षु session?
So you can take Shyam Murari for us.
Yes. Yes, Srila Gurudev. We had 2 more questions from Ram Prakash Prabhu and Radhakund Mataji, which we'll take in tomorrow's �ज्ञानचक्षु session.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. Please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Gurudev, thank you for the wonderful class every week you give and recharge the whole bhakti process. Srila Gurudev, as you mentioned that we live our life for others, and generally that's the nature of soul, is to serve. And you mentioned in the book Spiritual Connection that how we should not just come in contact with ISKCON or with our Guru Shishya Parampara, rather we should make a connection. And as soon as we remember that we are connected to our spiritual master or Guru Shishya Parampara, we get charged. But how to make this connection strong, Gurudev? Because only in the morning when I get up, if I remember that I'm connected to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the Guru Shishya Parampara, I become happy and chant my rounds. But as the day passes, that connection becomes weak again, and only it becomes a contact.
Entonces, Prabhu está haciendo una pregunta de cómo mantenerse conectado y no simplemente una pequeña conexión, sino una gran conexión con el Parampara y con el Guru. Él da el ejemplo de cuando se levanta temprano y recuerda al Señor y al Maestro Espiritual, entonces canta la yapa y se siente alegre, pero a medida que transcurre el día, esa conexión se va debilitando y cómo lograr una conexión más fuerte.
Yes, when we hear and we get affected by it, so we want to practice. And when we practice that, we feel happy.
Entonces, cuando leemos algo, cuando escuchamos y ponemos en práctica, nos trae una felicidad y queremos continuar.
So after some time, it doesn't seem strong again. So how do we maintain that? That was your question.
Entonces, luego de un tiempo, no nos sentimos tan en buen estado, tan poderosos. Entonces, esa es la cuestión que se está tratando.
If you hear it regularly, if you continue to repeat that regularly, the connection that we should have with the spiritual master, the connection we should have with the Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the connection we should have with them, it is not just once hearing. We should continue to hear, and the more we hear, the more we practice. We hear and we practice, it will keep increasing. It will continue to increase. Just like we're chanting Hare Krishna mantra, we're not going to change the Hare Krishna mantra. We're not going to change it. It is the same Hare Krishna mantra. But when we chant it as if it is just for today, then it will remain fresh. The same principle will have to apply in hearing.
Entonces, cuando escuchamos entonces cuando escuchamos constantemente
Want me to repeat it?
Sorry, Gurudev.
Repeat it, don't worry. If we Hare Krishna mantra, we're not going to change it.
No vamos a cambiar el mantra.
Yes, go ahead.
Entonces, no vamos a cambiar este mantra. Entonces, cuando cantamos el mantra como si fuera solo por un día, sin pensar en que vamos a tener que continuar cantándolo, entonces se mantiene fresco.
As we chant it every day as if it's a new thing that we have not chanted before, as a new thing, we continue to chant the same thing as a new thing. We have new realizations, and that realization will help us to keep chanting. The same approach you have in hearing.
Así como cuando cantamos el Santo Nombre y lo cantamos con la idea de que es algo nuevo, es solo por este día, entonces cantamos todos los días de esta manera, entonces vamos a tener realizaciones y vamos a sentirnos inspirados a continuar cantando. Entonces, con el oír, con el escuchar, tiene que ser logrado de la misma manera.
While Krishna perform unlimited pastimes, he should keep us hearing so we can maintain the same momentum in hearing and hearing and hearing and never get tired.
Krishna realizó pasatiempos ilimitados para que podamos escuchar constantemente y continuar escuchando.
When we look at Bhagavatam, you see Parashar Maharaj usually repeat his questions many times. And 𝐁𝐸𝐴 Goswami never get tired. He could not speak because he knew that the reason of asking the question is to increase the speaking. And he will speak more and expand the same thing more and more and more.
Entonces podemos ver en el Srimad Bhagavatam que Parikshit Maharaj hace las mismas preguntas una y otra vez. Y 𝐁𝐸𝐴 Goswami no se entiende que esto lo realiza para poder continuar hablando acerca del mismo tópico, pero en diferentes niveles. Y entonces sí, continúan hablando y conversando más y más.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Gurudev. Thank you.
Hare Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. Thank you so much for this wonderful reflection on this meditation by Srila Gurudev. We all are very grateful to you for your time and this beautiful class today, Srila Gurudev.
Yes, we're very grateful to all of you for being with us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Srila Gurudev. His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Damodara Swami Maharaj ki Jai.